Okay, there's that. Hello, hello. Eh, no, it's not. It's not cranberry. It's some kind of cherry Mio drink stuff. 4K HD. Hey, what's going on, James Ball? Hey, hey, hey. The topic is whatever anybody wants to talk about today. That is the topic. So we can talk about whatever. Harry, how you doing? Christian, good to see you, man. Good to see you. We are... You had a full thing of cranberry yesterday. I like cranberry juice. Some people don't like it, but I really like it. But this is my nighttime drink since sugar-free, but also non-alcoholic. Absorbing knowledge. Thank you. Are you working on getting your wife? Oh, my wife is like asleep upstairs. I don't know. How'd you get the impression she was gone? iOS 12? Better not be buggy. The Honor 10? I haven't looked at it yet. Huawei makes good phones, but I haven't looked at it yet. America has banned them. So I don't know. For 99 bucks, the Beats X are pretty good. They have everything that the AirPods have in them, except for being AirPods. So they sound really good. They are comfortable. They have the W1 chip, which is amazing. So, yes, I would say so, but a lot of times you can find them on sale. I saw that the white ones were on sale for $99 and the other ones were more expensive. Yeah, James, I have been to straight whiskey and I made it through to the other side, let's say. Yeah, so far so good, Adam. I hope you're enjoying those clouds, man. Would I like waterproof AirPods? I don't know. I don't care. What would be the benefit of waterproof? You could walk out in the rain? I don't know. I wouldn't swim with the regular AirPods either. They'd just float out of your ears and be gone. Good evening, Earl. Do I think it's time for a 4K screen phone? Well, I worry what that would do to the battery life of a phone. But I mean, we got 120 hertz on the Razer phone. That's not 4K, but you know what I mean. Carlos, whatever you guys want to talk about is what's on the agenda for today. Get this chat down here where I can see it. What's up with ZTE getting off the naughty list? That's going to require that I talk about politics, which is something that I do not do on my YouTube channel. So is the Xperia XZ Premium 4K? I never see any Sony phones. So I live in a town that doesn't have Sony phones. I went to Orlando and they had a Sony store in the big fancy rich people's mall. That's where I bought these. Yeah, DJ Money, DJ G Money, I would think that salt water is not good for any phone. I don't think that's covered in the IP68 water resistance. Yeah, no politics, no religion, and rarely see my three taboos are politics, religion, and sports. Things that I'm, well, at least two of them I'm very passionate about, but I don't think they mix well with YouTube discussions. What made me jump on the YouTube bandwagon, Edward Smith? I don't know. I've had this channel for I think since 2007, and I just sort of put stuff on their, should have family and stuff like that, or just to have up there. And then I started doing reviews of gaming headsets in late 2013, I think. And then people started watching those, so I just kept doing it, and here I am. So I don't know. I kind of never thought that I would do YouTube in any kind of serious way. It would just be some kind of fun hobby, and it is fun. It's less of a hobby now. It takes up a lot more of my time than hobbies. So Riterio, is that how you say it? So the battery isn't good on the XZ Premium. Yeah, I don't know that battery technology is there. Are Audio Engine speakers worth the money? I have never heard them myself, but like my neighbor who used to live next door, he was like a super audiophile. He was vinyl only, blah, blah, blah. He had Audio Engine speakers as his computer desk speakers, and he said they were really great. And I've heard that from a lot of people, so I would say they're totally worth checking out. What do I think about the round screen Apple Watch? I don't know. It's not something that I've been clamoring for. If it's, I don't know. I like the iPhone or the Apple Watch as it is. So I don't really care if it gets, I don't really care if it gets round or not. Have phone manufacturers reached a plateau, or is that Plato? Analogy of the cave? I think they have, but I think that I also think the steps forward are more off the radar, sneaky than they used to be. Like, imagine if something like Face ID came out, or the new Google Assistant came out 4 or 5 years ago. People would absolutely, their brains would explode. I mean, what they're doing is they're refining these technologies, and it's just pretty amazing. Yeah, I see. You put these sports names. So I'm a Yankees fan because I lived in New York for 11 years. I was a Yankees fan when I was a kid, even living in West Virginia, which might be ironic, but I don't know. So I have a hard time getting down with any Boston team. Sorry, Adam. The Porta Pros are pretty good. I haven't really been critical with them yet. I've just been kind of using them as on-the-go headphones to and from work and stuff like that. But they're really pretty good. My full review will come later. But if you're out there and you haven't, Riterio. Oh, okay, Riterio. Okay, good. That's what I thought. I mean, I know, like, it looked like one of those Romance language names. So it would be phonetically pronounced. Thank you. I guess I don't know what happened with ZTE. They were on the no list, and then then they were just like, well, we're done. Closing doors. We're finished. And then they came back. I guess the U.S. government said something about wanting to, like, not make them close. Danielle, thank you. Do I like ANC headphones? Yes, I do. I have to say that the Sony MDX 1000 Mark II, or whatever it's called, those are probably the ones that I like the best for the noise canceling, and they sound pretty good as headphones as well. It used to be that Bose had the best noise canceling, but I think Sony. I haven't tried the new QC35s, the ones that have come out within the last year. I haven't tried those, but the Sonys really were something else, and I'd only tried the Mark I version of those. How young am I? Depends on what day you ask me. I'm 46 years old. I'll be 47 in October. So if you guys want to get me something, there you go. Randy, thanks, man. Right now I'm using a Pixel 2 XL, though. This is all for the sake of science. I just want to see if I still dislike the Pixel 2 XL as much as I did when I first tried it. Monkey Pimp, is that young, really? I guess it is. You know, if 40 is the new 30, I don't know what I'm talking about. The HD 700s, those are pretty slick. I have a review of them on the channel, and they are pretty slick. So if you've got a pair, they sound really good, but they're not. I found that they weren't quite my taste. They sounded a little bit like clinical or something. It's hard to explain. So Tim, with the sold phones, so ZTE sold phones that used United States technology and hostile foreign powers, Iran, so the government banned them. Okay. 100K subs, what am I going to do? Quit my job. Maybe. I don't know. Thanks, Dakota. I appreciate that. I don't think there's any possible way I look 30, so I appreciate that. It must be the camera. Yes, I have Android P loaded on this bad boy right now, and so I'm going to be trying that out. Well, I have been trying it out since they released the beta. Randy, welcome. Welcome. So the shit Bifrost and the Asgard 2. I just like saying that company's name for obvious reasons. Yeah, maybe they open. If you haven't had them long, maybe when you use them for a while, let me know, because I had a review pair and I had to send them back. Let me know if they chill out on the high end, because I agree they were a little high endy to me. Yeah, the Pixel being exclusive to Verizon, I mean, it's good for me because I'm on Verizon, but you know, the Pixel phone should probably be available everywhere, not just in an unlocked form. If this is like the flagship Android, like this is what Android is supposed to be phone. So I like Kyrie Irving, or don't get me wrong, I like Kyrie Irving as a player, but you know, I just can't go Boston at all. Sorry. The 2018 iPad, yeah, it's a good iPad for $300 and change. So it's not the same thing as like a regular iPad Pro or any of that kind of stuff, but yes, they are. It is a pretty good iPad for that money. So yeah. Yeah, so people are coming into AT&T asking for the Pixel. I don't blame them. Randy, thank you. Appreciate what you guys do. Appreciate you as well. Yeah, John's the man, as they say. Your neighbor is under your bed. Hello to you as well. The latest version, Jeremy, the latest version of iOS has been stable on my iPhone 10. I haven't had problems with iOS 11 for quite a while. Although a lot of people who are commenting on my videos are saying it's doing all kinds of crazy things for them. So yeah, Trusted Texan, getting that iPad with 128 gigs and have pencil support, that is pretty sweet. That is pretty sweet. I'm glad that Apple is making some of their technology reasonably affordable. Lenny, what audio recording software do I use? I was trying out Persona Studio One. I liked it okay. I wanted to be able to bounce back and forth between Mac and PC. I got frustrated with trying to do creative things on PC, so I'm back in the Logic world now. But the YouTube channel is taking up so much of my time. I don't have time. I literally, today was supposed to be music day for me, and you know, it was also Mother's Day, so we did a lot of stuff with my wife. But yeah, I changed strings on my one of my acoustic guitars and played a couple of songs. So that's that. The FIO A1 amp, Monkey Pimp. Is it a tiny one, or is it like one of the metal ones? I have the one that is now the E11, but it was called Kilimanjaro 2 or something when I got it. And I think it sounds pretty good, honestly. I mean, it's not gonna hold up to something that costs, you know, hundreds of dollars. But if you just need some clean power to power your less sensitive headphones, then yeah, they make good stuff. Any thoughts on the OnePlus 6 leaks? I was not leaked anything. So that's frustrating. But then again, the OnePlus 6 is going to be interesting. If it's priced, rumors were that it was going to be priced at $800, which I'm seriously not interested in a OnePlus phone that's $800. Yeah, you're right, Trusted Texans. Some of their products, yes. Steve Sow, Adelaide, Australia. iPhone Plus, yes, I'm looking forward to that too. I wonder if it'll fit in my pocket if they make it as big as they say it will. iOS 12 is supposed to be like the stability build of iOS. So I'm hoping that it works well. You know, I don't need a bunch of new features in iOS as much as I want them to iron out some of the things that, you know, when they were trying to bridge the gap between a home button phone and a swipey phone. So I want to bridge some of the gap because there's still stuff about the gesture interface that's a little wonky. Yeah, I just, you know, the reason I didn't 4K HDJ, the reason I didn't go with Pro Tools. Now, see, this is something that's not an issue anymore, but way back in the day, you could only use Pro Tools if you bought Pro Tools like Avid. Well, they weren't even owned by Avid then. If you bought their hardware, so you could either buy an M box or something else that was much more expensive. And I wanted multiple inputs. Their versions of their software were tiered, so you can only have like up to 8 or 16 tracks or something like that on the lower end interfaces, and it was just not what I wanted. So I went first with Digital Performer, then I moved over to Logic before Apple bought it, and then when Apple bought it and revamped it, I mean, from a songwriting standpoint, it's really easy to get yourself like going and using in a songwriting, like get into a flow with songwriting. All right, catching up here. Yeah, Sneed. We were talking about that just a little bit before. You know, it seems kind of harsh that ZTE got kicked to the curb and they just immediately shut down. But I guess the U.S. is gonna throw them a bone or something. I honestly haven't. I read some headlines and a couple of sentences of a story, but I didn't follow it very much. Luis, so whenever I get a Samsung phone, I always start out with the stock, Samsung experience, and over the time, I usually switch to something like Nova Launcher. Not because I don't like Samsung experience. I just feel like Samsung throws a little bit too much into the mix, and I get confused. John Sparkman, hey, thanks for being here. Would I ever consider using a keyboard phone? You mean like the Key One from BlackBerry? Yeah, I actually love the idea that I tried out the BlackBerry Priv, but I had problems with the screen and stuff. Am I one of the fastest growing tech guys on YouTube? That's cool. I guess. It is cool. It is really cool. I'm enjoying a bunch of new people coming in and checking out the channel. So thanks, Rotario. What do you expect from a government that tried to ban Huawei? Wasn't Huawei like connected to the Chinese government and also got caught like, doing some kind of shady stuff? I don't know. I really think that what's going on with the Chinese phones and the U.S. is all part of this sort of like pissing match that we got going on between our government and theirs, and trade and blah, blah, blah. And again, I don't want to get super into politics, so I just kind of let that move on by. Apple and Goldman Sachs working together on a credit card. What would the point be? That's a great question. I don't know. I don't know what the point would be whatsoever, but they would make money. So, the game that I've been playing the most, as much as I've had time to play games, has been PUBG, and I'm not really very good at it. I've made it to 4th one time, and then got squirrely and let somebody kill me. So, yeah, but I used to game almost every night with a bunch of people, and YouTube has slowly taken over my life, so I don't do it as much. Khalil, thank you. A Google Play edition. Yeah. I think that would be interesting, for sure. Rotario, essential phone, OnePlus 6, or stick with my OnePlus 3 or 3T for extra storage. I don't know. The 3 and the 3T are getting a little long in the tooth now, aren't they? They're a couple of years old. I hear good things about the essential phone, but I also hear that it's a beautiful phone. But I hear that the camera sucks, I think is what they call it. So yeah, it's like the OnePlus 6, I'm gonna hold out judgment. Now, I got this guy on, like on payments on sale for $20 a month. If you can find like a Pixel 2 or a Pixel, when they do a sale like that, Best Buy had them for $14 or $15 a month so it was crazy. So that's why I went and picked this up. I wasn't going to pay full price for it for sure. Not because it's not a great phone, but it's just old and I don't want to spend that much money. Was it 2 weeks ago that I still hadn't crossed 50? Man, this is like, it seems like it's going so fast, and then I realized like not much time has passed. So it's kind of strange. Frederick, thank you. Welcome. Hope everything is going well in Montreal. Yeah, the only way that I get 4th in PUBG is if I don't see anybody until I'm in the top 10. And then maybe I get a couple of like lucky kills and then I get killed. That's the only way it happens. Can you trust Painfully Honest Tech? I mean, that's a question. That's a question for you, Carlo. Can you? Really? Viper. There he is. There he is. I thought I was going to see you out here with your exclamation points sometime this evening. Would it be worth the upgrade for the S7? Yes. Yeah, the S9 to the S7, from the S7 would be a really good upgrade. I tried to get my wife to upgrade from her S7 Edge, but she's like the total opposite of me. She doesn't care about any of this stuff. So, Samuel, thank you. Retario, that's all I've heard. That's just a rumor that I heard a little bit, maybe a month or two ago. Again, I can't really keep track of time anymore. So we'll see. I mean, we're going to hear something this week, right? El Jefe, good to see you, my friend. Too early, before 6 a.m. Good morning to you, Stefan, or Stefan. Finland, before 6 a.m. Why would you be awake at before 6 a.m. watching me do it live? I mean, maybe you're getting ready to go do something more important and you just have me on. I don't know. But well, the 5T was a really good phone. So, and that was also the last phone they made. So it was a great phone, and it's the last one they made. So obviously it's the last great phone they made. Well, but we'll see. We'll see. Samuel, I have never seen an HTC U series phone in the wild, unless you count this. With the Pixel's made by HTC and has some of the same and this has some of the same technology that they use. But yeah, I don't know. I can't answer your question because I just don't know. HTC, I've always liked their phones, but it seems like they're kind of slipping down the slide. Can you trust Rene Ritchie? Rene Ritchie has been around for a long time, and I've watched and read his stuff for a long time. And generally, I mean, he's a guy who covers Apple. So I know when I go to Rene Ritchie, I'm going to get Apple centric content, and I do like his stuff. So yeah, I guess you can trust him. But did you just take away a whole video from me? I could have made a whole video out of that. Do I prefer bacterial or viral infection? I mean, neither one is my favorite. I'm more partial to fungal infections, but will the Note 9 be a copy and paste of the Note 8 with slightly smaller bezels? The rumors are that they're trying to get the in-screen fingerprint thing going, but I honestly think, and you guys might disagree with me, I honestly think that that fingerprint anything is on the way out, and that face recognition and all that is going to be the way to go in the future. Zach, you have arrived. It's good to see you, my friend. Do you get a lot of backlash? Yes. Do I get a lot of backlash from my Can You Trust series? Just go look at the Linus and NKBHD like versus dislike ratios, and you'll get a good idea of what dive into the comments and see what happens. But honestly, YouTube counts likes and dislikes as engagement the same. If you comment and you hate on me, it's still engagement, and it's good for my channel. So I really don't give a crap what people have to say. So because if they say anything, it's good for me. No, 4K HDJ. the Pixel 2 is an HTC phone, and this is the Pixel 2 XL is a LG phone, but this has the squeezy thing on it like the U11 did. That's what I was trying to get across. Don't know if I'm into audio equipment. I got HS8s in front of my face right now. 30 euros would be a good price. There is not a better bang for that buck. 100%. I was just sitting here listening to them before I got my stream going, and I was like, man, these things are very transparent. They sound great. I'm really enjoying them. So yes. Yes, buy the HS8s. Yeah, there's a bunch of videos to work back to. Up there, are you in Calgary? Is that what you said, Zach? You think, Viper? I don't know. You seem a little biased to me about this Apple stuff, but I don't know. The Note 8 was ultimately a letdown for me, and it was my favorite phone of last year until I lived with it for longer, and it was frustrating. So, John Davenport, I had an Oculus VR, and I wasn't using it. So I kind of let it go just because it was a lot of money to be sitting around. I love the idea of VR and AR, but I think it needs to marinate a little bit more. So I wanted to play Elite Dangerous, but then I started to play that, and I'm not very patient with learning how to play games. If I can't just shoot something immediately, then I'm kind of over it. Can you trust Crystal Laura? Oh, jeez, why would you want me to do that? I don't know. Yeah, the John Morrison thing was strange. It was my first negative one. And you know, I was trying to be constructive while still being critical. And then he commented on the video, and he like tweeted me on the tweet place. And then he said, I want to go on the podcast. And I sent him a message about going on the podcast, and he never answered. So maybe he'll answer. Maybe he won't. Maybe he got what I wanted, what he wanted out of me. I don't know. Your neighbor is under your bed. Have a good night. Good night to you. I crack your device. I think I've seen videos by that person, but I don't remember. If Golden Axe 13, if Samsung is smart, I imagine that they would be smart. I think that they keep the Note 9 under $900, that would go well for them. But we'll see what they decide. Sneed Mobile, Naked, Green Machine, or Kale Blazer. My diet is strictly, although it's changing now because my stomach can't handle the things that I typically eat anymore. But I'm not a kale man. I'm not a kale man. So yeah, Viper, I don't know. What's Zach, what is your deal with Crystal? She seems like a very nice person. I guess. I don't know. She does, I guess. I still don't know why she changed her channel and name. But yes, I know you're Viper. I know you're the Captain Team Apple. And yes, I know that you also make some videos that do hold their feet to the fire, and for that I appreciate it, because that's what we got to do. So Zeke 316, I have not seen anything about Apple being a gaming company. via iOS. I mean, iOS was, there's plenty of games on iOS, but I haven't seen what you're talking about, so. Jonathan Morrison and Crystal Laura have a history. Oh, you can't just tease me like that. I don't know what that means. So the HoloLens was interesting, Samuel. That's cool. Yeah, ever since the first time I heard about it, I thought the HoloLens looked like something really cool because it's like VR and AR, right? So, yeah. My podcast is Painfully Honest Tech, the podcast. And it was supposed to have been up on iTunes as of Friday, but I haven't been able to find it. So, would I ever jailbreak my iPhone? No, I was never really interested in doing that. I kind of just always felt like the iPhone worked the way they wanted the iPhone to work, and so I was just gonna go with the flow, and it's always worked relatively well for me. Do I ever have to ban people? I've banned a few people, like serial trolls. I've banned, but it hasn't happened a lot recently. I just get a lot of random people like finding my videos. I get a lot of why is this video in my suggested? It's so funny. Yeah, I wish I would have kept my 5T, but I needed money. Crystal might be in my list. The iPhone 10 2019, whether it's the iPhone 11 or just the iPhone or whatever, I don't know. Again, like, I don't follow rumors a whole lot. I don't know what good a triple camera lens would be. But if it's cool, that's cool. So, WWDC, isn't that a long way off still? I think we get new MacBooks that don't suck. New MacBook Pros. I think we get the iPod back again. No, we don't. And then we're going to have the phones. The phones are going to be the thing. So, it's going to be interesting. I don't expect them to be wildly different from this year's phone, but, Zeno, the Oculus Go is good. I don't know. I don't know if it's good or not. For $200, $200 is kind of the sweet spot for people to kind of take a chance on a piece of technology, I found. So maybe that'll work out. If like Best Buy starts carrying the Oculus Go for $200, I bet people will check it out. But I don't know. I would love to watch Netflix on my face. I guess that would be cool. How do I feel about the Google Duplex? I think it was pretty awesome and also very frightening. Golden Axe, though, I do the podcast every Tuesday, although I might end up moving it to the weekend as it goes on, but that's what I've got in my Tuesday slot. In the mason jar, I have cherry blackberry Mio. It's sweet, but sugar-free and non-alcoholic. You can take the drinker away from the drink, but you can't take the drink away from the drinker. I still have to have something in my head. I don't know if they'll suck or not. I really don't. You think Apple should buy Tesla? Man, I don't know what's going on with Tesla. Elon Musk becomes more enigmatic all the time. So yeah. How much is the Mike? How much is the P20 Lite? What's the resolution on the Oculus Go, you guys? Is it 1440 or what is it? Zeno, you're welcome. Thanks, Ben. So better optical zoom as opposed to like, so the 3-camera lens would add better optical zoom and low light. So the optical zoom would not just be awful. I never use it. I never use it. I don't know who this Grimes person is either. I'm not up on the cool kid things. So would I move over to Twitch if YouTube keeps screwing over the creators? Yeah. I have a Twitch channel. I don't get to go and do anything on it very often, but my hope is that I keep doing this and keep growing to the point where I can do this as my job, and then I'll have more time to work on Twitch. $3.99 Canadian, that's not a bad deal. Elon Musk is a genius, yes. It's possible that he'll save humanity. Yeah. Why should I be careful? I've already done videos on Jonathan Morrison and Unbox Therapy. Unbox Therapy follows me on Twitter for some reason. I don't know why. Sneed Mobile Tech. Right now I'm squatting on this drum stool and it's kind of starting to hurt my rear end. Is that what you're asking? I thought maybe the drum throne would help me keep my back straight, but it's kind of making my butt go to sleep. I did a video on Star Wars The Last Jedi, and I received almost as much hate for that video as I have for any other video that I made. I thought it was a good movie. I don't know what people are complaining about. I don't know what the problem with like social justice warriors is. It's like, oh, so you think social justice is a bad thing? I don't understand it at all. And that's political, and I'm not going to go there. But I like the movie, and I did a whole video about why I liked it. I have a master's in fiction writing, so I've written a book. I've written a couple of books, so I know a thing or two about the storytelling, and so that's what my video was about. I liked it. I don't listen to Joe Rogan. I've heard he's really good, but yeah, it's but he's I guess the most popular podcast going on right now. Would I make merch? I certainly would. I used to be in a band, man. Merch is... I'm going to change chairs. Sorry about that. Painful. Yeah, I've been thinking about making t-shirts. You guys interested in t-shirts? I don't have any fun sayings like John Prosser does. I'm not nearly as clever as him. So Last Jedi was divisive because it wiped the slate clean. Really may. I think that a lot of people, thanks 4K. A lot of people just wanted wish fulfillment out of that movie, and they loved those characters, and they were really upset that that Rian Johnson actually treated them like characters and not just like avatars of people's childhood. So, yeah, I think he did a great job. I can't wait for the next movie. In fact, I can't wait for Solo. I think Solo is going to be really cool. Harrison Ford gave it a thumbs up. So that's good enough for me. Good enough for me. Favorite thing I've ever reviewed. Man, I don't know. I've got like 400 videos on YouTube reviewing stuff. I really like doing the review of Drew from Talos of Tech's rant on Linus's iMac video. that was the most fun to do. But static is not normal. No. So Samuel would buy my merch. If anybody else wants merch, I'll make it. Because merch is where the money is. So they say. How do I feel about an alternative to a cell phone that has the same functions? Maybe small LCD, screen pebble, iWatch. Yeah, I think we're going in that direction. I think we're going in that direction. I think this form factor is quickly sort of on its way to dodo bird land, and it will be something different, and it will be more integrated, and AR will be a part of it, and that's going to be the next thing. I don't know if that's 5 years or 10 years or 20. I don't know, but this form factor will not exist at some time in the nearish future. All right, Hector has a comment that was held for review, and it says, nothing against Unbox Therapy. I dislike Unbox Therapy because it claims to be unbiased. It gives out, shits on Apple and holds up Apple or Android whenever he gets a chance. If you're going to be, yeah, I mean, I don't know. He doesn't, most of his videos are just unboxings, so they aren't really reviews. He's got a fun channel. He's got a fun channel that, yeah. How long have I been doing tech videos? Since like mid or late 2013. So, John, good to see you. Thanks for coming. I'm drinking some more. Favorite Bluetooth wireless earbuds. I really like the problem that I've had with most of the Bluetooth wireless earbuds that I've tried is that they sort of pitch back and forth and pan, and one will go out and the other one. Like I had the Zolo Liberties, which I reviewed. Thank you, Krista. Thank you very much. Merch is on my mind, so that's, but I guess the ones that have worked the best, not necessarily sounded the best, but been the most convenient are the AirPods. They work great, and I don't think many others come close. The W1 chip that Apple has is the best in the business. So, all right, scrolling. Any phone you wish would get a comeback? I liked Windows phones. I don't know why they couldn't get up off the, they couldn't get over the top, but I kind of thought they were a cool idea and the interface was cool. So I'd love to see Windows come back again. Now that the Windows has the whole Surface thing going, a Surface phone would be a no-brainer. But then again, I keep hearing like a lot of my students bought Surface Pros when they came to school, and a lot of them have had nothing but trouble with the Surface Pros. So I don't know. And I hear that the Surface Book is now getting recalled or something. So did I have a game that I was addicted to growing up? I mean, there were probably several. I had Pac-Man on the Atari 2600, and I played that a lot. I turned that game over, which which is probably still my greatest gaming achievement. And right now I'm really interested in PUBG, but I don't get to play enough to say that to be addicted to it. The best game that I've ever played, however, is Last of Us. So I mean, by a long shot, that's the best game that I've ever played. And I cannot wait for Last of Us 2. I've been waiting for Last of Us 2 for years now. How old am I? How old are you, TNT Thief? I'm 46 years old. I said this before. Palm Pre? Yeah, that would be all right. Yeah, I mean, Palm made some cool devices. Yeah, I lost one of my AirPods too, Hector. I don't. If it's out of battery, you're out. You're out of luck. I don't know where mine is either. But we're moving houses, so maybe I'll find it when we move. I don't know. So I have a MacBook Pro 15-inch from 2015 that I use for work. It's the work computer that they gave me. I have an iMac 27-inch right here. That's the 2017. And then I have a PC over here on this side, which is, I use them all. So Last of Us, I guess I don't know. I guess it's sort of a RPG maybe, but it's hard to say. I don't know. It's a story game. The combat is there, but it's not really combat centric. It's pretty easy. Well, sometimes on games like that, I just want to deal with the story, so I just play it on story mode. But Last of Us I've done a couple times, and yeah, it's an amazing. It's like, yeah, it's just such a great story. The characters are so good. I never thought I'd see anything like that in a game. So does resale matter? I do have an Xbox One. I got the Xbox One X. Yes, resale matters to me a great deal, which is maybe part of the reason why I keep going back to the iPhone, because the resale value of Android phones is not good. Not good. We'll just say that. I mean, I can get a V30 right now on Swappa for $300, and they're still selling it for like 700 something at the carriers. So, not good. What phone is better for gaming, Samsung or Apple? I don't know. I don't game a lot on my phone, and I know that Android has come a long way. I know that Android has come a long way with gaming, but Apple's OS has always been super solid, and it seems like the majority of gaming developers came there first, and now it's probably but I don't play games on my phone. I don't know why, but can you trust ZTE? Maybe I'll do. So I got another series that I'm working on as well, but I'm not turning them out as quickly because they're a little bit more difficult to script. But if it's usually like, I did one that was if Apple was painfully honest. I have one coming up if Google was painfully honest. If ZTE were painfully honest, I could do that. Or I could just, if Chinese phone manufacturers were painfully honest, maybe that. But do I think the iPhone SE2 Lara will be a budget phone like the first? I hope so. I hope they keep the form factor and maybe even the same design, but maybe go like notch and do the full screen thing. That would be super sweet. They don't have to go to an OLED screen for a phone that size to make me happy. So we'll see. I mean, it's not. We keep hearing all these rumors, and I'm still not 100% sold that we're going to see an SE2, at least not this year. Steam Mobile Tech. I don't know who J. Cole is, so yeah. My daughter was about the Hector. My daughter was about the age of that girl in the first scene of Last of Us, and it truly it truly fucked me up. But she loved that game. She was not yet really playing herself, so she and my son watched me play through the whole thing, which was really fun. I mean, playing through games with your family is really fun to do. So there, yes, people may say, like, how could you watch your 9-year-old daughter? How could you let your 9-year-old daughter watch Last of Us? But I did. Mr. Who's the Boss is, yeah. I mean, there's a certain kind of tech reviewer, or smartphone reviewer, I should say, that really just stays super focused on smartphones, and they do battery tests, and they do speed tests, and they do all this other stuff. And to me, and this is nothing against him, my personal I guess preference is to not have to talk about the same thing all the time. So Sneed Mobile, I'll check it out. I'll check it out. Do my kids watch my YouTube? My daughter subscribed to my YouTube channel. My daughter has her own YouTube channel. She wants me to shout her out, so maybe this is the time. Go check out Holly is her YouTube channel's name, and she does Nightcore videos, and sometimes she does her own self singing, but mostly Nightcore right now. She's really into it. So Holly, go check her out. And don't be creepy, or I'll be pissed. Um, Nicholas, that's a good question. I think honestly, like, the notch in the middle is the most symmetrical thing they could do. And symmetry and balance is really important when you're designing a phone. So I think they did the best they could with the situation they were in. Obviously, the best thing would be not to have it, but I don't know when we're going to get there. We might be stuck with the notch for many, many years. Apple just told iOS developers, to like embrace the notch, or their stuff might not get approved for the Apple Store or for the App Store. So we might be with having the notch for a while. Bruce Lee on Commodore 64, man, I couldn't afford the Commodore 64. I was not, we had 2600 and didn't have anything different until my brother got a Super Nintendo. And by that time I was in college and I didn't care. I didn't play games. I didn't really start playing games again until I was in my 30s. And at first it was just because it was fun. It was a fun family activity. And so then it was a fun way for me to not go out to the bars and hang with friends. So Nightcore is like, I thought it was a particular, so Nightcore, as I understand it, and this may be wrong, you should check out my daughter's channel if you want to know more. You take songs that already exist and then you speed them up, and you write the lyrics. You type in the lyrics so people can follow along. It's some kind of picture or something like that. So it's something that she learned to do in school. Like, it was part of a computer class that she took, and she just really likes doing it. So she's having fun with it. So Zeke is asking, tell me, Great Wizard, why isn't home technology more common and integrated into our phones? Seems like it should be a bigger market. LG, that's the ThinQ thing, the Think or whatever. So they're making all of their devices that they sell for the home smart. Right now is just, it's sort of still like there are so many providers of wireless, connected home stuff, and Google and Apple are pulling them together. I think it's just not quite there. And then you have to remember that the life cycle for a dishwasher is a lot longer than the life cycle for a smartphone. So it's going to take a long time before everybody gets up and everybody gets up to speed, having smart devices that they can connect to with their phones, refrigerator, dishwasher, microwave, whatever. Although that will be awesome when it happens. And if I had the money, I would buy one of those refrigerators with the screen in it. And then that would be awesome. But they're like $4,000 or $5,000 refrigerators. And I don't have that money. Carlos Malagon, thank you. I really appreciate it. I unhid this just for you. So Arthur, I've never done anything with it. Well, I mean, we could play 45 records on 33, and we could play 33 and a third records on 45. No, not you, Carlos. Another Carlos told me that I suck. Just a few comments up from yours. $329 iPad or Chromebook. Depends on how much you really think you're going to need that keyboard with you all the time. $329 iPad that has pencil support is a pretty good deal, and you can get any Bluetooth keyboard that you want to use with it. But I have to say that I've never been a huge fan of Chromebooks. I know that they have utility. It's just, I don't know. It's not a product for me. Razer laptop. They look great. They are crazy expensive, and I would love to try one, but I don't know. That's a lot of money. Arthur, thank you. Greetings to you from Iowa. How are things in Panama? So streets rawest worth the price. What's worth the price? Oh, you mean the Razer laptop? I don't know. Up until recently, I would say the only laptops that out there that would be worth that premium price would be Apple laptops. But the most recent MacBook Pros and such suck. And now they're class action suit about the keyboard. I'm glad I didn't stick with it. I bought one. I took it back. I think I bought two. This is how things are going for me. I have the same iMac that I bought in January and then I sold. I now have the same exact iMac. I bought it again. So I'm just not going to allow myself to buy anything anymore. I really want to try the Razer phone. My desire to try the Razer phone has not diminished, but I just haven't gotten around to it yet. So J. Cole is the greatest rapper from North Carolina. Is there a lot of competition for great rappers in North Carolina? I mean, I suppose they're Best Buy. They could be. Yeah, man, I can't talk about the Best Buy thing. Suffice it to say that I have been encouraged not to try and return things to my local Best Buy anymore. But yeah, but I mean, I guess that's fair. That's not really fair. Uh, the manager was like, "So I hear you're a blogger." I'm like, yeah, I do know I'm a blogger. I'm not going to speak ill of people right now. I really wanted to see that 120 hertz screen in person. Um, yeah, Streets Rust. That was kind of what turned me off, and I think it turned a lot of people off. And I think the Razer phone kind of died a little that day, or maybe a lot, because MKBHD had. I think I might have talked about this in his in my "Can You Trust MKBHD" video. He is one of those people where, like, if you're a smartphone company and you get lucky enough to get MKBHD to do a full test out and review video on your product, that's great. Unless he totally slags one, he'll usually go after like one feature, and if the camera's not good, I agree, it's not a great machine. But $900 Canadian, no, I wouldn't pay that for the Razer phone. Yeah, Khalil, I really, like I said, I really do think that MKBHD saying, being negative about the camera on the Razer phone kept it from being a lot more successful. Harry, were you not here when I said no religion? Follow your dreams, brother. Follow your dreams. They're not really dreams, they're plans. Yeah, when Razer starts doing RGB logos in their phones, I think it'll be hard to be hard to stay away. Um, I you know the idea that T-Mobile and Sprint come together and make for a viable third competitor for AT&T and Verizon, I think that could be good. Some people might look at it as like possibly going down the direction of, you know, monopolies, but I don't see how that's possible. I think another big company can only be good. So, what's on my pocket or in my pocket right now? I've got the Pixel 2 XL is what I'm using right now. And today was the day that I could have returned it, my last day, and I still have it, which I can't wait until my wife sees the phone bill next month. But I still have my iPhone 10, and I had this Honor 7, yeah, that I was supposed to review this and I never did. Now it's my teleprompter. Well, it's not, Harry. It's not a huge deal. Like, it's just, I always tell my students, like, when they go on interviews or they do anything in public, like, don't talk about politics, religion, or sports, because those are the three most divisive things in the United States these days. Um, so, I tried Sprint. Streets Ross, I tried Sprint. I wanted to try the V30 Plus, and it was only available on Sprint at the time. And so I got one, and that was the worst experience of my life. Not because of calls or anything else. It was just Sprint was such a terrible company in terms of customer service and just general service. I was astounded. I was amazed at how terrible they were. So basically, like, the Sprint store in my area is, it used to be a Radio Shack that had a Sprint kiosk in it, and then it became a Sprint store, and just all the people that worked at Radio Shack worked at the Sprint store. I don't know. I don't know. So is the OnePlus T as fast, 5T as fast as the iPhone 10? Yeah, it's faster if in some ways. The fingerprint unlock and the face unlock is like you don't even know it happened. And so the thing is, like, the iPhone has the built-in animations that aren't necessarily built for speed, and you can change the animations in Android so the phone can seem faster if you want it to. But iOS just kind of does its thing. But the whatever it is, the Fusion chip, A10 Fusion, still smokes every Qualcomm chip out there. And I know people are like, oh no, it doesn't. It does. AT&T or Verizon. I used to be with AT&T, and then I went to Verizon. I found Verizon the easiest company to work with. Like, if you just want to go in and get a phone, I know who goes into the store just like, oh, I'm going to get a phone today. Well, people who are aspiring to be YouTubers, I guess. And so it's been, I like Verizon for that reason. AT&T was always a little bit of a pain in the ass. They had, like, I don't know, multiple systems of things. So I don't know. There's a guy at my local AT&T store that I like, but you know, that's the best thing that I can say about AT&T. The worst cell phone company I've ever been involved with is US Cellular. They were so awful. They wouldn't change our billing date, and if you didn't pay within 24 hours of the due date, they would literally shut off your service. It's just completely ridiculous. This is Cherry Blackberry Mio, little squirty thing that you put in water. Sugar-free, tasty. So what do we got here? Yeah, there's not even a T-Mobile store in my town. And in the next larger town, there's not a T-Mobile store. I think you have to. So I live in Iowa City, Iowa. The closest largest town is Cedar Rapids, and then beyond that, you've got Des Moines and A11 Bionic chip. Yeah, I got confused. So there's not a T-Mobile store anywhere between here and Des Moines, and Des Moines is 2 hours away. So I don't know. So, oh, what time is it? 10:21. I'm going to stick around for another 10 minutes or so, and then we're going to call this one over and done with, because, you know, it's Sunday night. Future of Siri? I mean, shit or get off the pot, Apple. You had this technology before anybody else, and it's still fucking awful. So, I don't understand how it's so bad when Google Assistant can now make phone calls and have conversations with hairdressers. So, I don't know. The notches, Streets Rost, I think the notches are going to be around for a while. I think I said this a little while ago, but Apple told iOS developers that they better incorporate the notch in their designs, because sooner than later it's gonna keep them from the App Store if they don't embrace the notch. So I think we're around. We're seeing the notch for at least this year, obviously, next year, and possibly 2020, but I'm not so sure about 2020. So 60 miles south of St. Louis. Yeah. I did that unbox therapy video got pushed toward me. I haven't watched it yet. I'm going to watch it and see that all screen phone. Viper, of course you said the same thing about Siri. That's the real truth. Shit or get off the pot. Apple. I mean, now Apple's just in when it comes to voice assistants, Apple just looks foolish. They look B League. They look bad compared to what, I mean, we've got Google Assistant doing its thing, and then Alexa. I prefer Google Assistant a little bit more than Alexa. Alexa kind of creeps me out because, I don't know, there's something about the voice. But, yeah, Google Assistant. Now, see, if that's the kind of AI that, like we were talking about earlier, that kind of AI, and then connected to everything in our lives, that's going to be the next real evolution of smartphones, I think. Yeah, Viper, I agree. I don't understand how Alexa, I mean, still sucks so bad. They've had it forever. Yeah, I struggle, Russ. I think I saw that same thing where Siri couldn't tell. I think Zach and Viper were going back and forth with that. And Zach, his Google Home Max, was able to tell when the iPod was first released, and Siri couldn't. I mean, that's just embarrassing. Siri has become like, you know, in terms of voice assistance, she's become like your cousin that got dropped on his head as a child, and isn't quite all there anymore. I don't even use it. I never use it, which means that I never use like the voice assistant. I'm trying to train myself to use Google Assistant more, especially ahead of like all this new stuff that it can do. Well, Retario, you have to remember that AT&T was pretty much the only phone company in America all the way through like the 1970s into the 1980s, and then they were split up as a monopoly into a bunch of different other companies, and and you know, that was when it was all landlines, and so now we've got the progenitor. Those were the progenitors of the phones that we have. So now it's just still the same thing. I think three big competitors should never be considered a monopoly, but it's just shrinking the world is what I think people are worried about. Yeah, so AT&T was Bell Technologies. Yeah, so it started all the way with, I think, Streets Ross. I think you're right. I think that company started straight out of Alexander Graham Bell, and then just sort of made its way up until the 70s and 80s, and then it got split up. Hey Arthur, thanks for being here, man. Hope everything's good in Panama. Yeah, that's what I thought. That's what I thought. It is the original phone company. Yeah, Viper, you're right. I mean, the software, you know, we've just gotten through what's probably the first stage of mobile technology, with hardware. I mean, everybody's saying like, oh, you know, there's nothing new. Nobody's got any new features. So the hardware is stale. But now we start to see what Google showed off last week, what, you know, some of the possibilities are. The software and the AI is going to be what really changes, is the next paradigm shift for how we live with these devices. I think you're right. Yeah. Yeah, I remember the Standard Oil thing. I mean, I wasn't alive then, but I remember, you know, there used to be all those companies, and then it became kind of, they're all owned by the same company again, aren't they? Let me see, this is the thing. Okay, so even though AT&T as a phone company was a company all on its own, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that they were still regulated by the government, right? There's still like some sort of government oversight of telecommunications. And as of now, although it could change later, you know, in a month or so, as of now, the internet is not governed by anything other than the internet. So Google, in Europe, they've called it a monopoly, and Apple, I don't know. Apple's overall market share is still really small compared to all of the Android phones out there. So I don't know if they're reaching they're not at a monopoly stage just yet. Well, I think that, Zeke, I think that we've tried specialty phones, and like the V30, the V series from LG was supposed to be the freaking audiophile phone, and I know a lot of people that love that phone, myself included, but I don't think it was enough to make it worthwhile. But yeah, iPhone Pro would be great. But I think Apple or Google, maybe Samsung definitely. I mean, Samsung has the active phone, so. But yeah, I think that we're going to see more changes in software than we are in hardware over the next 5 to 10 years, and that's where the change is all really going to happen. Yes, I'm in the Midwest, and as you say, killing it on YouTube. I've lived, you know, I lived in New York City for 11 years. I've been an entertainer of sorts, writer, musician, blah, blah, for many, many years. So this is kind of like a weird natural extension of all the things that I've done. I love working in the studio. I love working with, you know, I love being creative, camera stuff. I love using my audio gear. I write scripts for probably 70% of all my videos. So yeah. Augmented reality is going to be a thing. I can't wait until we just have like augmented reality contact lenses. Although I won't need them because I'll just use the glasses. I tried contacts, and I just looked like my eyes looked like a turtle. I couldn't get used to it, so I went back to glasses. That was years ago. Chicago, Viper, well, you're only 3 hours away from me. So, Zeke, thanks for stopping by, man. Really appreciate it. Struggle Ross. I think that what we're gonna see is pretty much like a standardization, like a bigger, medium size, smaller, That's where Apple's going right now. And I think Samsung has their bigger, middle, larger phone or smaller phone. So I think we're going to see the form factors kind of stay the same for a little while as the software starts to really grow. And then I think the form of the phones will start to change. Like, you know, for me, my phone is someday going to be a part of my eyeglasses. This I know. And then it might be embedded in my brain. I can't wait. I want headphones that are embedded at like on my ear bones. That's what I want. Midwest in the building. Yes. Well, I think Google Assistant has just sort of, if Google Assistant is the bully at the beach, it has just kicked like all the sand at the beach onto Siri. Google Assistant is so many worlds above Siri at this point. So okay guys, so I'm going to tell you, does my wife support the channel? Now that it makes a little bit of money, she does. She's supported me through a lot of stuff. Like, I've always been a creative guy. I had a music career that was pretty successful. I had, you know, I came out here to go to school for writing, and she's supported everything that I've done. We've been together for 26 years. So she supports the channel. She doesn't care about this stuff at all, and I do. So now I want to say, talking about this cyborg stuff, if you haven't read William Gibson, Mona Lisa Overdrive, like it's a trilogy, and I'm not going to trust myself to come up with the name of all three books, but they are amazing. They are amazing. And things like headphones and hard drives and stuff built into your head is a real thing in these William Gibson books. They were written in like the early 80s. So William Gibson is the guy who is credited with naming the internet, basically. So in fiction, before it existed. Do you think we are somewhat at the end of tech shrinking game, current state of battery and storage science? I think I keep hearing about this graphene battery that Samsung's been working on, and it's supposed to be smaller but have more charge or whatever. I hope that comes about, because I'm tired of having phones that have shitty battery life for cosmetic reasons. Yeah, that's it. Shitty battery life for cosmetic reasons is stupid. HD 600s for $150. Yes, they are amazing headphones. So yeah, absolutely. They're open back. So if you want open back, you can't get much better than the HD 600s for anything, old, new, whatever. Yeah, Viper, you're talking my language, man. You're talking my language. I just don't understand why battery life has to be the #1 complaint that most smartphone manufacturers get, and yet they don't give us more battery. Samsung tried in the Note 7. We saw what happened there, but that doesn't mean that you can't do it. Somebody can do it, please. Battery life on this guy's pretty good. I have found it to be about a day and a half. I was at 19% when I got home at like 11 o'clock or 1 o'clock this afternoon from being out for a while, and I didn't charge it last night. So yeah, the Note 7 does have them scared. I mean, the way that they handled the Note 7 situation is textbook how you should handle that kind of situation. Like, I don't know if you guys are old enough to remember, like, when Tylenol was laced with cyanide in the early 80s, and their parent company took all the Tylenol off the shelves, and they just sort of said, we care about the customers first. And they lost a shit ton of money, but they did the right thing by their customers, and they still exist today. And that's the only reason. Yeah. This is the Pixel 2 XL with this Google Live case. It's cracked concrete. It's kind of cool. I like it. Gives me a different wallpaper every day. Nice. So Siri does everything you want her to do. I mean, my vacuum cleaner does everything I want it to do within within the possibilities of what a vacuum cleaner could do. But what the possibilities of a voice assistant are much greater than what Siri can do. So I love this one too. The nighttime orangeness is really pronounced. I got to turn it down some. Yeah, I like this case. It's still a little slippery. And I like the look of this phone naked. Looks good naked. Well, I really like what Google did with the wallpapers that came stock on these phones, just with like that little bit of movement in each wallpaper. Was pretty good. I thought it was pretty cool, but I just wasn't a big fan of those wallpapers. What band was I in? I was in a band called Star City up until 2004, and then I still play. I have a band. I still write music. I still do all these things. YouTube is taking up huge amounts of my time, and so I don't get to do as much with writing. I have a novel that's finished. Basically, I have to go through it one more time, and I've been in that situation since like the YouTube channel took off in October, and since then I haven't been able to spend any time with the book. But I got to fix that because writing is very important to me. The Pixel smartwatch, I haven't read any of the articles or anything about it, but I don't know. I don't trust Google to support it. I mean, they had Android Wear, and then it's Wear OS for like a week, and now we're going to get a Pixel watch. I don't know. I don't trust them to continue to support it. But if they come out with one and it's cool, yes, Moises, I am running Android P on this thing, and so far it's had some weird little hiccups. Some apps have frozen up and stuff, but it hasn't been too bad at all. The screen on this phone, well, it's hard to tell now that it's got the nighttime coloration, but the screen on this phone does have some blue shift to it still. Struggle Ross, thank you very much. Yeah, I think I like smartwatches a great deal. Right now, I have a Samsung Gear Fit 2 that I use just because I have it, and you know it's cheap. It was cheap. I guess I really want another Apple Watch, but I'm gonna wait until the next round comes around. Could you edit video on an iPad, Zeno? Yes, I've done it. There's a whole channel. I think it's called the Untitled channel, but everything is about doing all of your computing on an iPad. So you should check that channel out. I think it's called the Untitled channel, but the guy does have some pretty decent content on productivity with the iPad. So Android P is pretty cool so far. the blue shift, Khalil, I stopped really seeing it, but I'm gonna do like another review of the Pixel 2 XL, and I'm gonna look at it and see if it's really as bad. Well, Rotario, I think that if they're announcing anything about iOS 2 or iOS 12, sorry, that's supposed to be like we're gonna make this work as well as we can before we go any further with features and stuff. Zach, I know you've had a ton of trouble with Blue Shift on the Pixel 2 XLs that you've been checking out. Yeah, it's not been too bad on this phone. Although I have to say I don't like the screen as much as I like the iPhone 10 screen. The iPhone 10 screen is just a little bit more poppy. And even though they have like a boosted mode that's supposed to be better, yeah. It's not a bad screen. It's just not the best screen. Who, my wife is not a techie? No, not at all. Not at all. I keep trying to get her to change her phone, and she like yells at me because A, she doesn't want to spend the money because our phone bill is already expensive enough, and B, she doesn't care. So maybe for Christmas I'll get her a new phone. She can't complain about it. So yeah, Aravind, we talked about duplex a little bit ago. I am super impressed and also kind of scared. I think that's what everybody's saying, is like, it's impressive. It's going to be good for the future. AI is going to be the gateway to what comes next with all devices. And right now Google is kicking ass at the AI thing. I think it's safe to say that Google is beating everyone at AI right now, at least when it comes to their smartphone technology. And Google Duplex is probably the crowning achievement to this point. So, all right, it's 10:45, and I've got to go. I'm tired. So, thank you guys for stopping in. I really do appreciate it. It's been a fun chat, and I try and do this at least once a week. I try to. Gonna have another video out tomorrow, and then Tuesday is podcast day, and yeah, new videos all week if I can make it. Trying to buy a house. It's taking some of my focus away. But thank you so much for being here. Yeah, catch you later, Viper. All you guys, really good to chat with you all, and I will see you again sometime very soon. Until the next time, I'm out.